You know what we're here for. I got my Matt Murdock sunglasses on. We are going to dive into the world of Hell's Kitchen. The Devil of Hell's Kitchen is coming in less than a week. He is going to be making his gracious return, as well as Kingpin. We got Foggy Nelson. We got Karen Page. We got the Punisher. We got plenty of fun characters and awesome characters that we've been introduced to from the original Daredevil series making their gracious return next week. Sorry for that. And I am beyond excited. Daredevil Born Again is my most anticipated project of this year. It was a very close tie between this and Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider Man, but I think Daredevil Born Again kind of clears it just a little bit more than Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider Man, though Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider Man was definitely up there as well. So now that we're entering their Daredevil era, I do want to kind of get us started, get us into this new era. So I want to know what you guys are thinking about Daredevil Born Again. And also, I want to give a brief thank you to everybody who was in my test streams earlier today. Yeah, those did not do well. Trying to get OBS to work is definitely not my strong suit, but we're gonna work on that. I'm gonna continue to work on that. But anyway, I'm excited for Daredevil Born Again, and I want to talk theories. I want to talk your thoughts, your opinions. Maybe if you have some hot takes, I would love to hear those, and kind of just go into this new Daredevil era. So yeah, for you guys who are here, I'm gonna get into the comments. Let's see. We have what's up, Carson? You said definitely going to be a nice show. Hoping the first two episodes are just a banger because live action Marvel needs it. Yeah, I have a feeling it will be. You know, hearing from the reactions and reviews so far, it seems like Daredevil Born Again is going to be a banger. Just kind of going off those two episodes, just from hearing what people are saying. Some people are saying that this series does things that the Netflix Daredevil series didn't get a chance to do. So it seems like this series might be giving us the Daredevil in its full aspect of what vision they probably wanted to do with Netflix, but just didn't have the chance or maybe didn't have the budget to do. So now that, Daredevil is on that, Disney budget, Marvel budget, you can say, they can kind of go all out in that aspect. So, yeah. You said, yo, you are live again today. Yes, I am live. I said I was going to go live again. In my previous streams. I'm not glitching because I'm on my phone, by the way, Alexander. I decided to just keep doing them through my phone until I can get OBS to straighten out. But what's up, man? I want to hear your thoughts. How do you feel about Daredevil Born Again? Are you excited? Are you hyped for the new show? What things do you want to see? Do you have any theories? I kind of just want to hear what you guys are thinking. Personally, me, I'm excited for Daredevil Born Again. I love the Daredevil, original series on Netflix. I grew up with it, I was in high school when that series came out. So for me, I wasn't someone who was so much familiar with Daredevil back then. I mean, obviously, I remember Spider Man, the animated series, having that one episode with Daredevil in it. Actually, it was two episodes, it was a two-parter, and in that they actually took down Kingpin together in that, which is something that I know a lot of you and I, most importantly me, I definitely want to see in the MCU, and I hope it happens. I hope we get that. So, uh, with that being said, I wasn't really too familiar with the character of Daredevil. Then we got the Ben Affleck movie, which I won't talk about that. I didn't like that movie. I thought it was very bad, and I still think it's bad. So, in that regard, Daredevil was kind of in this phase where he was kind of fading out. You didn't really know about him unless you were reading the comics. I wasn't reading the comics of Daredevil at that time. I didn't get into reading the Daredevil comics until like Netflix's Daredevil came out. So when Netflix's Daredevil came out, I remember going to school every day and there were people talking about the show like, "Yo, did you see season 1? Did you see what they did there? Did you see what they did there?" And I was like, "Yeah, man, like it was like a constant discussion with people in high school." And I thought that was one of the coolest things, with the original series was that people like me who weren't really too into Daredevil at that time. This show really brought out a new venture into that character and really got a lot of people introduced to this character, and that's all, flowers to Charlie Cox and his performance. And I'm so glad that Marvel got Charlie Cox back. I don't think there's anyone else. Don't mind the sound outside. I don't think there's anyone else who could really. I mean, I'm sure there are people who can, but I don't think there's anyone else who, to me, is like the definitive Daredevil at this point. He's played him for these many years, and he wants to continue to play the character. And you can just tell just by the interviews, Charlie Cox is very indebted to this character. He's read the comics. He's seen all of that, right? So it's just amazing to see some an actor who's very passionate, who's very interested in this character, and it isn't doing it just because they want to get a paycheck. So shout out to Charlie Cox. Vincent D'Onofrio as well, got to give him his flowers. We've had a lot of Kingpin iterations in the past, and Spider-Man the animated series was my first introduction to Kingpin. And Roscoe Lee Brown, rest in peace to him, but Roscoe Lee Brown did a really good job, in my opinion, voicing that character in animation. And then we got the one from the Daredevil series. Shout out to that actor as well. Really goated actor. And then we got Vincent D'Onofrio, and we legit got the Kingpin. So, it's just a testament to all the actors, and you can just tell with every actor, they're just very passionate, and actress, very passionate about this series. So with Marvel announcing this, way back at San Diego Comic Con 2022, which is crazy to think about. San Diego Comic Con was like 3 years ago when we got announced that Daredevil would be coming back. We saw that little tease of him in that trailer with She-Hulk and things like that, but him finally getting his own show, making that return, it was just a great thing to hear. And I think personally, I think that they made the right decision bringing back these characters because there's so much you can do. And this only gives me hope to. I'm hearing the report that they do want to bring back a lot of the, Defenders characters like Luke Cage and Jessica Jones and things like that. So I think this show is going to open the doors for us to have those characters come back. So I'm excited for it. I want to see what you guys are saying in the comments. A lot of you guys in here, I'm sorry I was yapping. Yeah, I'm not glitching. Oh, thank you, Alexander. Yeah, happy Black History Month to all the brothers and sisters out there. Shout out to y'all, man. What's up, Flag? How you doing, man? I'm doing good. Yeah, I got the sunglasses on. I had to put on the Matt Murdocks today. I'm trying to get a suit. I might actually get a legit lawyer suit, like an actual tuxedo, and wear it on stream when we talk Daredevil. If you guys want to see something like that, let me know. I'd be down to maybe do something like that. I think that would be cool. You see, Shaggy Gaming, you said Bruno Earth. I wonder what you mean by that. Let's see. Parker, what's up? Well, welcome back, man. You said I want RDJ as Iron Man, not Doctor Doom. I agree with you, Fireflag. I really do. I'm still not set on RDJ being Doctor Doom. I think that wasn't a good idea. Personally, in my opinion, I think it was just too convenient on Marvel's behalf, and I'm going to continue to say that I'm not okay with it. I want to see how it's going to play out, but that doesn't mean that I'm okay with it. You know what I mean? So I want to see what they're going to do with this, but I still, if it was up to me, I think he would have just either came back as Iron Man or they just should have just kept Iron Man dead, um, in my opinion. But let's see. Every fan of Avengers wants that brother. You mean like RDJ? Like, yeah, a lot of people want RDJ back, but I didn't think people wanted RDJ back in this manner. I think they wanted him back either as like Superior Iron Man or some other variant of Iron Man, and who knows, maybe this Doctor Doom was a variant of Iron Man that gone rogue or something. Like, who knows? But I just still think, like, you could have casted another actor to play Doctor Doom. Um, yeah. Thank you for the Black History Month appreciation. I appreciate that. The most saddest person in the MCU was Spider-Man. Yeah, I mean, you could say that to a degree. He's a very sad. I mean, he had to pretty much give up all the people in his life to kind of serve a more private life, a more unknown life. And that's why Spider-Man 4 has that interesting element of this is more of like Spider-Man now. It's not Peter Parker anymore. So how is he going to balance being Spider-Man now? So I definitely agree. I do think Spider-Man is one of the saddest characters in the MCU currently. Will that spell be broken? Will it stay forever? I personally don't think that spell that Doctor Strange put on the universe is going to stay forever. I think it's definitely going to, you know, break at some point throughout all this. And it's just a matter of when and where. Amir, what's up? Hey, man, how are you? I'm Iranian, and I have a challenge for you. Uh, I'm not sure what I don't know how to really go about that challenge. I mean, it might be good, but I don't really want to say it. But I'm glad you're here, Amir. Are you 2% white? No, I'm not. I get that a lot. A lot of people think that, oh, you sound like you're a white guy inside of a black guy's body. It's not that. It's just that, again, I guess when you grow up in different environments, and when you go to New York, people sound differently. When you go to Florida, people sound differently. When you go to California, people sound completely different. I think it's just a matter of the region and also your family, where your family is from, what how you were taught to say certain words growing up. I think you kind of latch onto that. So for me, being someone who has family in New York and places up north, I kind of have a more like proper way of saying things. So it's not that. It's just kind of like, again, it's based on your region. So I think it's cool that we all have different ways of saying things, but we're all saying the same thing. I like that. It makes us different. Cassidy Campbell says he is. I'm definitely not. Oh, that's what he says? Okay. Marvel fan, what's up, man? What's up, man? I want to hear your thoughts. I need to know, what do you think about Daredevil Born Again? Are you excited? What things are you looking forward to? I definitely need to know what you think. Dad, that you? Are you trying to call me a dad? You trying to call me Unc? That's crazy. That's crazy, Shaolin. Brutal. What's up? I was not prepared for the stream. I did not know it was happening. Yeah, I need to start being more clear about doing YouTube streams. Like maybe posting them in the community tabs. I should probably do that more. I always post it on Twitter and Instagram, but I know you guys don't always have Twitter and Instagram, so I need to be more communicative on the Twitter, on the YouTube side of things. So I'll definitely get into that. I was doing some streams earlier, Marvel fan. Some test streams through OBS, and OBS just kind of went crazy. So I'm still working on that. It's a work in progress, but I'm gonna get there eventually. So yeah, I can't be on the stream now, but maybe I will hop back in later. All good, man. I'm pretty sure we'll probably still be streaming. I might stream for like an hour and a half or maybe 2 hours. So I think we'll still be here. Yeah, yeah, Alexander, he is here. Marvel Fan is here. He just has a different name. But that's him. Cheeto 2, what's up? Hello, welcome to the stream. I hope you're doing good. Cheeto, you have nice glasses, man. I'm a sub. Thank you, thank you. I got these from Amazon. So for those of you who want to know, I got these like off of Amazon. They have like a ton of different colors. So I was like, you know what? I want red because I think, red kind of matches with a lot of what I wear. I also have my Spidey baseball jersey on, so I thought that matches with it. So coincidentally, they just so happen to match with the Daredevil theme. So I was like, you know what, that'd be perfect to put on. So you'll be seeing me wear these a lot more for sure. I like them. I have some different pair of sunglasses and stuff here too, but I gotta clean those off. But yeah, thank you so much, CheetoTube, for the compliment, and thank you for the sub. But yeah, CheetoTube, and just anybody who's in the chat right now, I want to know your thoughts. Are you guys excited for Daredevil Born Again? Do you guys have any, thoughts and theories or things you would like to see. Obviously, we're going to get some good conversations. It sounds like we got the Punisher. I'm sure you guys have probably heard the news that the Punisher is going to be getting a special presentation from Marvel Studios, which is pretty exciting. Hydrated, which is pretty exciting because I like the Punisher, especially the Punisher show. I thought was really good and really interesting, and man, I wish that show would have continued, but I ain't gonna complain because if this is the way to bring back Punisher to maybe possibly getting his series back, I'm with it. Like I said, I think they're gonna bring back all of the Defenders characters and stuff. No problem. Keep up the great work, man. Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate it. I will tell my friends about you so you get more subs. You don't have to do that, but I really appreciate it, CheetoTube. I really do. Let's see. Yeah, you said 50 years old fan. I stopped collecting before the new villain existed. I know almost nothing about him. About Doctor Doom or about the new villain that's in the series? I mean, even though he's technically not a new villain, he's been around for like a couple years, but like, you're talking about Muse? Because Muse, like I said, from what I've read and from the comics I've read with Muse in it, he's a very like sadistic character. Like I said, he literally like takes his victims' blood and he uses them for his artwork. Like some very like crazy, sinister stuff, you know. In Daredevil, yeah, yeah. Like I said, there's been some new villains here and there that they've introduced over time. Like I said, like Muse is kind of like a fairly new one. He's been in the comics for like a few years, but he's still kind of fairly new. And I kind of like the idea that they're taking a new villain and they're adding it to the show because now people are would want to look up and see, where's the origin of Muse? Where did this character come from in that whole story? So, yeah. Uh, I'm like I said, I've read a couple Daredevil comics runs. Like I said, Frank Miller, Mark is that Chip Zdarsky is probably like the more recent one. Foggy looks great. Glad they have him back. Yeah, I'm glad they have Foggy back too. I think without Foggy, you don't have that structure. To me, I think Foggy has always been the heart. He's always been the heart of the Daredevil, in my opinion. And I don't know, they're kind of talking like maybe Foggy's gonna die. I hope not personally, because I want to see that character continue, and I want to see that same actor continue as well. I think he's always done a great job, portraying Foggy. So I don't want to see that be the end of his Marvel run. I think there's a lot of great stories they can do with Foggy Nelson as a character. So I hope they don't kill him off. I hope what they're going to do is they may do like a fake death thing where maybe they think Foggy is dead, or maybe he isn't dead. Maybe he just gets severely injured. So they kind of pull a twist on us where maybe Foggy's in a coma. And Daredevil doesn't really know for sure if Foggy is going to make it. I could see them doing something like that. And this may be where this is where this, that's where it tips Matt off because now he isn't sure if his friend is going to make it out alive out of the coma. So in that line in the trailer where he said that a line was crossed, that might be a reference to, maybe the line was crossed with Foggy because again, you mess with Foggy, you mess with Matt. So that would make sense for him to turn back to being the devil of Hell's Kitchen. Because it seems like from the series, he hasn't been the devil of Hell's Kitchen as much as he used to. So this is probably his way of kind of getting back into being that. So I think that's what they're going to do. That's my theory. I don't think he's going to die. I don't. see a reason for them to kill him, just kind of based off, unless they do it for the brutality reasons to kind of show that there are stakes in this show. But again, I don't know. I think it might be just him being in a coma. And, maybe there's like a 50-50 chance that he will either survive or he won't survive it. So that's what I think personally. Um, but yeah, let's see what you guys are saying. You said Born Again is going to be fire. What's up, Fernando? I can't wait to see Daredevil and Spider-Man 4. If he is, I know they did an interview. Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio did an interview, and most Marvel actors and stuff, they usually say, "Oh, I'm not in the film," or "I'm not going to be there." So don't always take it as 100% that they're not going to be in it. Because I mean, if you guys seen Brave New World, Sebastian Stan said, "Oh, I'm not sure I'm going to be in the movie because we were filming Thunderbolts at the same time as they were filming Brave New World, and we clearly saw him in Brave New World." So don't always take that into an account. So if he is in Spider-Man 4, I think that would be a great treat. I think teasing the whole thing with Kingpin, giving us that Devil's Reign storyline, I think would be really fun. I would love to see it. So I still don't know if Kingpin is going to be the big bad for Spider Man 4. I don't think he is. I think they have someone else in mind. I don't know anything, but I think that's just my thoughts. Just kind of looking at what idea they're trying to do. We don't really know an idea. Like 1 minute they say it's street level. They said that about 15 times. Then there was the rumor about Mephisto and Ghost Rider. That was a thing. Then, if you guys remember about Ant-Man showing up in Spider-Man 4, that was a thing at one time. So we don't really know what's going on with Spider-Man 4. And I know Brad Winterbaum, he confirmed like a few days ago that they can't even have Spider-Man appear in Born Again because they don't have the contractual license to have him appear in the Disney Plus shows. So he can't even show up. So the only mention that we're probably going to get, if we do get a mention of him, which I have heard that there is a Spider-Man mention, we're probably just gonna get like, oh, the web slinger vigilante that's running swinging the streets of New York or something like that, right? Like that's probably the only, as far as they could probably go to mentioning Spider-Man. I don't know if they would be able to mention him by name. It sounds like that they're not going to be able to contractually, which sucks. Which again sucks with this whole Sony deal, because if Marvel could just get out of this Sony deal and just claim the rights to Spider-Man, I feel like a lot of what we want from Spider-Man, or a lot of some things that they wanted to do that we clearly saw in Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, I feel like that was their idea of what they wanted to do with Marvel's Spider-Man, but weren't able to due to Sony. So I'm not blaming Sony 100%, but I am saying that I do feel like to a certain degree they were held back with doing certain things with Tom Holland's Spider-Man, and that's why things just feel so very limited with his character. And I'm hoping with this new trilogy that he's not as limited, that they can go down these other stories that we want to see. We want to see him be this street level hero. We want to see him saving cats out of trees. We want to see that kind of stuff. And, not get all involved with the venom and craziness. I mean, they can tease that, right? But I don't think right now they need to get into all that. I think we just need, like, street level Spidey taking on street level villains and foes. I think that's what we need. I don't think that's what they're going to do with Spider Man 4. I would hope they do. Maybe they can do both. I don't know. I just think right now, personally, Spider Man 4 is just in this like very limbo state of we don't really know what's going on because there's been so much being said about the film. Do a meetup? I mean, I could do a meetup at some point. I think that would be cool. Like I said, maybe go to like a PAX or TwitchCon. Well, maybe not TwitchCon because I'm not like a Twitch like content creator. I'm more of a YouTuber, so I don't. I think PAX is more of like a YouTube thing, so maybe go to PAX. Maybe San Diego Comic Con. San Diego Comic Con is definitely on my list of conventions to go to. Um, I wish E3 was still around because E3 was definitely another event that I always wanted to go to. But you guys know the story with E3, and it's unfortunate. So yeah, what's up, comic book fans? Yeah, bring on the comic book fans, man. We're here to just talk, man. Just kind of hear what you guys are saying. You guys have been very welcoming to me in the comic book community, and it's amazing. It's amazing to just have this opportunity where I can talk these things because I love talking all the stuff that I talk on my channel, but sometimes I just want to talk the things that I don't really get a chance to really talk about. Obviously, I get a chance to with other people, but kind of like a bigger audience to talk with you guys about these things, and it just gives me more of a space to. So I appreciate you guys. Who would you want to meet? Who want? Uh, let's see. Your boy needs to do a meet and greet. I mean, like I said, a meet and greet could be something that we could do in the future. I would be down to do like a meet and greet if you guys want that. I think that would be awesome to, sit back and talk with you guys about whatever it is that you guys want to talk about. I would love to. So, Mindy, what's up? Welcome to the stream. Hello, I'm from Israel. I used to live in America. Really like your content. Well, shout out to Israel. Shout out to y'all over there. I hope you guys are doing well, and I hope you're doing well, and I appreciate you checking out my content. It really means a lot. I love hearing that people all over the world are, checking my content out, whether it's a short or a stream or a video that got you in. I'm glad it got you in, and I hope you stay tuned. I have plenty more things coming on the channel this year and for years to come. So thank you, Mindy. Thank you. Yeah, Sony is such. Yeah, that's the thing, man. Like, if they could get Sony out of their hair and just give them the creative control, I think things would be a little bit better on them for creative sake. Hi, I've seen you for a long time. You haven't seen me for a long time. Well, welcome back. I hope you are doing well. I think you're XL. I'm just gonna call you X. But yeah, I'm glad you're here. Happy that you're here, and I'm glad that you were able to come back. Someone leaked your full name. Yeah. Why would they want to leak my full name? I don't think no one needs to know what my full name is. Um, but I mean, if you want to know, I can tell you now. It's not like it's gonna matter, but I'd rather not. So, yo, you hit 2.9K. Yes, I did. I hit 2.9K as of recently. You guys have been killing it on the channel as of recently. It's all thanks to you guys just showing up in the streams and the videos and the content. And tonight, stay tuned because I got a video for you guys. We got some Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man news, so stay tuned tonight because I will be dropping a video on that. I haven't also forgotten about my Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man review. I'm working on that currently, and I want to try to get that out, if not this week, by next week, because there's a lot of things that I do want to put into that. So stay tuned. But like I said, I got a season 2 Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man video that's going to be coming out tonight. Right after the stream, I'm going to work on it. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for that series. I was joking about the name thing. All good, man. All good. I can't stay for too long, but for now I can. Awesome, man. I'm glad you can, Marvel fan. I most definitely will get on later if you're still going. Please say hi, X. Is it X double I? I'll call you X double I. Okay, gotta go, but I will hopefully hop back on it. And I forgot it's Marvel fan. You can call me Marvel fan or Jay. I'm gonna call you Marvel fan because I've always called you that. So it's easier. All good, man. All good. We'll see. I'll probably be here, like I said, for another good hour or two, and then I'm gonna head off and do this video so I can go ahead and get it out to you guys. But yeah, I'm glad you came through, Marvel fan. But yeah, I want to talk about Daredevil. So I want to say I'm trying to think like what are some things that I could talk about with Daredevil? Okay, I got one. So there was a behind the scenes thing. If you guys saw like on YouTube, they posted like a behind the scenes of New York, right? And something that they really mentioned that really stood out to me that reminded me so much of the series and why this series has so much character is New York. With the show and the setting being in New York, there's so much life. The characters, the interactions, the lighting, the architecture, all those things, right? And in the original series, New York definitely had that, thing of it's its own character. So when they brought that up in the behind the scenes, I said like, you know what? That's exactly the, epitome of Daredevil. The character of just New York and all the different places that you get to see, as well as Matt traveling through those places and interacting with the people around him. It's dope. It's amazing, and I love that they are taking it back to where it all began. So I feel like this series is definitely going to take it back to where we started with this character, and I'm more than excited in that aspect. There's a lot of like reactions and stuff out there. There have been people who've watched the first two episodes. Lucky them. I wish I was one of those people, but I'm not at that level yet. But they've seen the first two episodes and a lot of positive reviews. A lot of people seemingly saying that the show is some claiming it's better than the Netflix series, which is kind of crazy. But it's going to be interesting to see if that rings true. But like I said, that gets me excited to know that they kind of step things up with this series, and I think we're going to get something special with this. I think a lot of people go on this, train of Marvel is dead or Marvel isn't what it used to be and it hasn't been popping since Endgame. All this stuff, right? So I feel like a lot of these people now are saying that, oh yeah, Marvel's back. It's like, no, Marvel's been here. It's like, I want to say this, like every property, like it doesn't matter what property you're in, rather it's Marvel, DC, it doesn't matter. Every property has its moments where things feel kind of slow. And I think right now in the MCU, I think that Marvel's just kind of been in a slow state. And also we got to take into consideration that with these Disney Plus shows, a lot of what they were doing at phase 4, we were kind of going through a pandemic, and I think I can say that word. I feel like I should be able to. Like we were going through a pandemic, but also change in leadership was going on. There was so much of stuff going on, and it's not me excusing them. I want to make that clear. It's not me excusing them. But when you take a look at the behind the scenes and kind of hear the stories of what's going on, it's kind of like, well, dang, they didn't have a showrunner, which was kind of like one of the biggest things. Like, you definitely need a showrunner, especially when you're trying to, do these shows, and just the whole format of these shows as well. When you think about the format for these shows, you got to also put into consideration that Marvel was trying to format these into movies. And I think that's one of the biggest problems. You can't format a show, something that's serialized. You can't form that into a movie as much as you want to try to. I just don't think personally that was the right call. So they made a mistake there. Okay? So I think now with Brad Winterbaum being someone who's over the whole division of the television and the animation, I think Marvel is going to get to a place where when they do TV shows, they're going to have that more serialized, more traditional TV esque feel that, we used to have when cable shows were a pretty big thing. And I think that's Brad Winterbaum, he's I think he's like the president over like Marvel television animation and I think streaming as well. So he's been very vocal as well. Like I said, I got a video that's going to be coming out today. He actually did an interview that does give us some Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man updates. So like I said, I got you guys covered on that. And he's Brad Winterbaum. Shout out to him. He's just been very vocal about what's going on in just the television side of things. He's been very vocal. Well, all the stuff, right? So I just think that when you have a showrunner like Brad Winterbaum who's able to do all of this and like go on these interviews with all the different channels and stuff and pretty much say like, here's the basis. We got this and this going on. Yeah, we had some thoughts about Nova, but we're kind of holding Nova off right now. We're holding off Strange Academy. We're holding off Terra Inc., which I didn't even know Terra Inc. was even going to be a show. But they confirmed that Terra Inc. was going to be a show, and basically those characters are kind of like supernatural-esque characters. So kind of like how we have Werewolf by Night. I believe those characters are in the same frame of those. I might be wrong about that. It depends on if anyone knows about Terra Inc. and comics or anything, let me know. But I think they're kind of in that realm. So he's just been very like vocal about all that. So shout out to him. Yeah. Let's see. Dan the Man, what's up? Oh, I gotta go back because you guys said last time I was triple XL. Really? Okay. You see, I didn't even realize that. I didn't even realize that. I mean, I did, but lucky. Yeah, lucky. Very special indeed. I needed to have a great Disney show after my uncle died. I'm sorry that your uncle died. I'm, sorry to hear that. I know how it is having a loss in your family and just how that affects you. So I hope you're okay. I hope you're doing all right. And I want you to know that it doesn't get easy, for sure. It doesn't get easy, but just know that your uncle would be proud to know how far you are going as a person. You may not be at the position that you are right now, but once you get there, you find that pursuit of happiness in yourself and you come to peace with who you are. I think your uncle will be, proud of you regardless, but just knowing that he's watching over you and he sees the growth that you're taking for yourself. That's something to be very proud of, you know? And it's always the memories and things too that you have with him. I'm not sure what you and your uncle did, but I'm sure those memories that you have with him are memories that you're going to hold near and dear to you for the rest of your life. So again, I'm very sorry for your loss, and I hope Daredevil Born Again does justice for you. I hope it gives you a great time to kind of clear your mind off of what's going on in your own personal life. And I think thinking about it, movies, TV shows, video games, comic books, whatever it is, in life, we take these things and sometimes we use them as a way to kind of cope with our own real life, situations that we're all going through. And it kind of just keeps our mind off of it. So whatever it is, positively, I'll say, not negatively, but positively, anything that's going to help you feel better, make you better as a person, I'd say go for it. X-Men 97 confirmed for season 2 for 2026. Okay. Okay, that's going to be interesting. Like I said, I'm a little adamant about the new direction for X-Men 97, but I'm going to let it play out and see what they do with it. So I'm excited for X-Men 97. It's been a while since I've done a video, so maybe I'll do a video on that too, if you guys want me to do a video. I'm from America. HCC. I'm from America. Dan the Man, I can't wait a week, big dog. I was looking to watch Brave New World, then Daredevil right after. Yeah, I know. It's gonna be less than a week, and it doesn't even feel like it. I mean, it does, but like, I remember when we were just asking for a trailer for Daredevil Born Again, and people were saying, "Man, Disney ain't trying to promote this show. They're not doing anything. They're not giving us a trailer." And now every single day they are giving us promotion after poster, behind the scenes footage, interviews. They're giving us all the marketing. And that's usually how it is for all their stuff, right? Like a month in, or maybe like less than a month in, they usually go big on their marketing and give us all this stuff. So, just a matter of time. And I know a week feels very long, Dan. I feels like a long time, but we gonna get there. Also, what are your thoughts on Captain America: Brave New World? I definitely want to hear your thoughts. I know it's kind of mixed. I enjoyed it personally. I actually personally enjoyed the film, but I would love to hear your thoughts on it. Have you gone to Wednesday Council? I have not. Like I said, I just haven't had the time to, and I definitely won't tonight because I'm gonna be working on a video. I want to make sure that I get the video out. But if I have time, maybe. But on Wednesdays, I'm usually busy with other stuff, so I just don't have the time to. Let's see. What's up, Carter? You said it's the bad quality that kind of ruined Marvel, and COVID did most of the work too. Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness went through reshoots and rewritten the script, and Nightmare was going to be in the movie. Yeah, I did hear about that. And I'll even put this into the perspective too. I think with Multiverse of Madness coming out after No Way Home didn't do it any favors either, because there was a fake rumored list of all the heroes that were supposed to appear in Multiverse of Madness, right? You had Hugh Jackman Wolverine, and there were some that were correct. Like you had, obviously Professor X in there. Obviously he was in the movie, so they got that correct. Fantastic Four, we had Reed Richards, but not the Reed Richards that people knew from the old Fantastic Four movies. Somebody said Tobey Maguire was gonna be on there. That was on the list. Ghost Rider was on that list too. So I think when people saw that list, they took into consideration like, oh man, we're going off the hype of No Way Home. We're about to see all these heroes come through. And when it didn't happen, that's kind of what, in my opinion, kind of ruined the movie. And it wasn't their fault. I just think because there's people who lie and say that certain characters are going to appear in certain projects and they don't. And then there's this whole back rate, like backlash about it. I think kind of ruins it. I think Multiverse of Madness, there's a lot of potential that could have been placed there. There's a lot of potential, like Nightmare. I think Nightmare would have been perfect for this movie. I just think it wasn't a Doctor Strange movie. It felt more like a Wanda Maximoff movie. And maybe because WandaVision was such a popular thing at that time and they kind of wanted to capitalize off that, but I still think personally I think personally having Wanda in the movie and kind of taking up a good percentage of the time of that movie also I feel like didn't do it any favors. You can have Wanda appear, don't get me wrong, but I just didn't like the direction that they took her in that film, and then just completely destroying a full Illuminati like cast. I see why they were doing it, to kind of present how dangerous the Scarlet Witch can be, but we've seen that before. We've seen how powerful she can be. So I didn't really think they really needed to do that. Will we get any ramifications of that? I think it would be interesting to kind of get some ramifications of that. I think you could maybe argue that with the end of Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, with him getting the third eye and, Clea coming in and the dark dimension with that whole thing. Will we get any resolution to that? I hope so. I hope we get a Doctor Strange 3 because that could clear up that whole thing with what's going on with that. And I agree. Like a lot of the reshoots and stuff with Multiverse of Madness, I feel like kind of messed up the clear image of what they had the movie to be. And it's unfortunate because I always wonder, like, what would have that version been like if they had just had Nightmare as the villain in that? Like, I always wonder how that movie would have been. Would it have been received better? Would it have been received the same way as, the final product, Chainsaw, you guys really want me to go with Chainsaw Reacts. You guys really want me to tune into his stream. I'll make a bargain with you. I won't do it tonight, but when I do decide to go on and when I have time, I'll let you guys know so that way I will be on Chainsaw Reacts Council on Wednesday. Since you guys like want me to be on there, I think I'm cool with it. Like I said, I want to collab with people this year. So if you guys want me there, let me know. You guys seem to want me there, so we'll see. That's all I'm gonna say. Yeah, man. What's up, Dan the man? I hope you're doing good, man. Hey, what's up, Caden? What's up, man? What's up, Jace? I just woke up and saw you started a live an hour ago. Hopping on, hoping I wasn't too late. You're all good, man. We're just getting started, really. We're 46 minutes in, and I'm just hearing what you guys are saying. We're just talking different things. We're talking Daredevil. We talked about some different things with Marvel Television and kind of them getting back on track with that. And I personally think Marvel Television is getting back on track. I think that with X-Men 97, with Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, Agatha, I thought Agatha was surprisingly good. I was surprised. I was a little adamant at first with Agatha, and I know you guys wanted me to talk about Agatha too, and I just there was so many other things that were coming out at that time that I just didn't have a chance to, but I definitely would have wanted to talk more about Agatha. I think there was a lot of interesting things in that show that they are definitely going to continue. I mean, we have legit Ghost Rider's cousin that was in the show, so you know, we could see Ghost Rider pretty soon. Maybe more soon than we think. So there was a lot of interesting things in that show. But you're not late, man. I'm doing all right. What about you? I'm glad to see you guys conversating. I will say, I'm praying this new direction Marvel is taking will take inspiration from recent comics. West Coast had War Machine, Rehabilitate Sandman, X-Men going to war with each other, Blue Bolt, etc. I think they are going to some degree. I mean, even now, when you kind of look at like some of the newer comics, like I think I saw today, there's like a TVA comic, and I don't think that it's true, but there was somebody theorizing that the Scarlet Witch was like locked up at the TVA, and I think the writer of the comic she came out and said like it's not canon to the MCU, but I wouldn't be surprised if Marvel does take like little hints and pieces of like current comics that come out and maybe add them. I mean, even down to like Doomsday and Secret Wars, right? Like they're doing the current Secret Wars, like the 2015 one. I'm sure they'll take elements from the 1980, what, 1987, 1984. I'm not sure what year the original Secret Wars comic came out. Like, I'm sure they'll probably take little hints and pieces from that, but it seems like they're going to do like the current, like 2015 Secret Wars comic run, and that's what they're going to take inspiration from. So I do see them look taking that into effect. Even what you mentioning X-Men, right? Like I could definitely see like a X-Men war type thing happening. I see Avengers vs. X-Men happening. Not right now, but I'm sure in the future they're going to build to it because people want to see that. Chainsaw Reacts also reacts to cartoons on this channel. I think I've, like I said, I think I've like brushed through his channel a few times. I've seen him like randomly show up in my recommendations. So I have seen him before. So like I said, if you guys want me to like go on to his stream or maybe try to collab with them, I would be down to. I kind of wish Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man lasted longer. I agree. I wish there were more episodes for that show. I definitely missed not having a new episode to wake up to or a couple of episodes to wake up to, today. I was a little bit bummed. I felt the same way about X-Men 97 when season 1 ended, but Caden, I got a video that's going to be dropping today that might give you some hope of when we could see season 2. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to say any more than that, but just stay tuned tonight. I got a video coming out for you guys. That show was too bright for me. Which one? Battle World. Yeah, Tom Tufu. That is a funny name, Tom Tufu. But yeah, I definitely see them doing Battle Worlds. I think the Void. This is just my theory. I think the Void might be what Battle Worlds is going to be. Like I seriously think that. Like if you guys saw in the Thunderbolts trailer, like there's legit like a black void over New York. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get a piece of New York, we get a piece of maybe the Fantastic Four universe, building up to this like battle world collision of worlds. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe that's the way, and who knows, maybe Spidey might assemble a team of multiverse heroes. I don't know. That's a theory. That's a theory of mine. I think that would be kind of interesting. Are they going to do that? I don't know. We'll have to see. But I think Battle Worlds is going to be an interesting thing, for this Doomsday and Secret Wars thing that they got going. You like Rick Remender? I've never heard of him before. You said you're feeling it with Spider-Man. You thought it was too bright. I mean, that's fair. Everybody has different taste. I think with the bright and vibrance of that show is just like again like a inspiration to like 60s comics because 60s comics has a lot of bright, vibrant colors. I think now comics are kind of they use a lot of shading and different techniques. So there are some moments where comics can be bright, but there's also a lot of moments where comics nowadays can be kind of dark. But back then, the vintage comics, the colors were very flat, and that's why in the show the colors are very flat because they're going with that 60s John Romita, Steve Ditko era, because that's how comics were. So again, it's all a preference, so I understand. Word, if the TVA could just pluck people, sway the timeline whenever they want, then wouldn't the MCU be one big plot hole? There would be no problems. Yeah, you know, I think the TVA, just going based off of what we've seen, like in Loki, but also Deadpool, the TVA is a very corrupt organization. Like, they try to pose themselves as this, like, we're trying to save the multiverse, we're trying to save the universe from going haywire. But how many times have we seen people, like, literally use it for their own, advantage? Like, I'm sure there's like good people like Hunter B15. She seems very good. Mobius, OB, those characters seem like on the right side of the TVA. But there's so much corruption in the TVA that to me just feels like well all of it going on, it just feels more like a facade than anything else. But who knows? Maybe with Hunter B15, Mobius, all these other characters, maybe they will get weed out the bad people of the TVA, and it'll become the TVA that it needs to be. So yeah, what's the TVA? Time Variance Authority. It's in Loki. If you remember watching Loki, Deadpool and Wolverine, it's in those projects. That's what the TVA is. They pretty much take control of the timeline. So if there's any timelines that go out of haywire, they pretty much prune them. So there are not what they're kind of like well, not they're not watchers per se, but they kind of monitor. They monitor the timeline, the sacred timeline. Although I do think we are gonna see the Watcher um, in live action. Like we've seen him in animation, we've seen him in What If, we saw him in I Am Groot, those little shorts. We saw him in X-Men 97, and we just recently saw him in Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. So he's definitely gonna show up in live action. It's just a matter of when. Maybe he already has, and we just didn't notice it yet. How do you feel about Dan Slott? I think personally, Dan Slott for me, he's not a go-to. He's just not a go-to like writer when it comes to comic books. For me personally, like I don't see him, and maybe he has some good work. I haven't read all of his stuff, but I just think that Dan Slott. I feel like with Spider-Man, I'll give an example like Peter and MJ is a couple that I feel is very synonymous to Marvel. And when you go out of your way to try to break them up the best way you want to or how you feel, you kind of ruin the essence of just why they're together in the first place, you know? Everybody knows the, lucky infamous line of, you hit the jackpot, Tiger. Everybody knows that infamous line, right? And Peter not being like in a relationship with Mary Jane at first, they were friends. He had feelings for Mary Jane, but they were just friends at the time because he was very much, into Gwen. Then when Gwen died, Peter was in this like very depressive, frustrated, saddening state, which is understandable because you literally just you couldn't save the girl that you loved from a threat. And that's why everybody says that Venom is Spider-Man's biggest villain, his biggest enemy. I disagree. Green Goblin is Spider-Man's biggest villain. He is. How many times has he attacked him? How many times has he outsmarted him? He's gotten into Peter's head so many times. He's taken his girl away. He legit kidnapped him and literally had this whole game plan of reckoning his whole day at times just to reveal that, hey, I'm Norma Osborn. I'm the one who's been doing all this damage to you the entire time. Like, that is a level of crazy, sadistic, and evil that I don't think Venom, in my personal opinion, has reached. Doc Ock, in my opinion, I still don't think has reached. So to me, Green Goblin will always be that definitive villain for Peter Parker, for Spider-Man. Because he's gotten into his head so many times. And when you're able to do that, you have such a, in my opinion, you have a high bar. Because you can attack someone physically. Okay, that's cool. But when you're able to attack someone mentally to the point where he literally wants to straight up kill you, that's like on another level of, yeah, this, he's that guy, So I've been feeling for Secret Wars and the reboot since 2023. Okay, so do you have like a theory? Do you know what you think is going to happen? I got a phone call, so I'm going to pause this for a little bit. I'm back. Sorry, I had a phone call, so I had to, I had to pick that call. Anyway, I do want a Battle World TV series between the Avengers, Doomsday, and Secret Wars. That would be interesting. Kind of seeing like all the different heroes from the different universes now colliding onto this new battle world. How do they function? How do they go about this? What is their plan to defeat Doom and whoever else might be involved? So Battle Worlds TV series could be interesting. Will they do it? I don't know. I don't know. My favorite Arthur is J.D. Salinger. I had a son who played Captain America. Me and some friends watched it the other day. Is it the old Captain America movie? I think there's like an old Captain America movie, or maybe it was a TV show. I think it might have been a TV show though. But I remember he had on like this like biker helmet. It was like very weird, very 70s at the time. But he had on like this big biker helmet. Um, this bandwagon cat, it ain't read no more comics. Boo this man. This bandwagon cat. I have read comics. I don't know what you're talking about. And you know what's funny? It's funny when people try to tell other people what they haven't done, but it's like you don't even know what I've done. Like I've probably read more comics than you. That's pretty sure. Since you want to say that, and since you want to say I don't read comics, let me go ahead and prove to you. Let me go ahead and shut this down because I'm gonna let you know right now. I'm an avid comic collector, which I don't really have to prove nothing. I don't have to, but just for your sake, just as a favor, because I want to, I'm gonna do it. All right. Since you say I'm not a comic reader, Watchmen. I love Watchmen. Watchmen's a great story. For those who haven't read Watchmen, I highly recommend. Amazing Spider-Man. Look at that. Classic vintage Spider-Man, by the way. Miles Morales. Yes. Miles Morales is one of my favorite Marvel characters. And I love him to death. And I'm going to collect more Miles comics, which I've not only read on physical, but I've read online because I have the time to. Starfire. Great comic series by Cami Garcia and great illustrations by Gabriel Piccolo. Amazing artist. You've probably seen his work on Instagram or on social media. He does amazing artwork. Takes a lot of these DC characters and turns them into like modern day characters, which I think is really dope. So shout out to him. Another one by the same people, Beast Boy and Raven. Oh, what's this? Oh, what are we talking about today? Daredevil. Chip Zdarsky run, by the way. This one has Spider-Man in it. See? Oh, what's this? Oh, yeah. Spider-Verse. Because I love the Spider-Verse. And you got a whole Spider-Verse full of different spider characters. Vintage Daredevil. For those of you who know, I go even back to the vintage days of Daredevil. I do. Because there's some interesting stories there. And I have this one big giant book here full of Spider-Man vintage comics. And I'm talking Amazing Fantasy. I'm talking Fantastic Four appearance in the first issue of the comic when he took down Chameleon. So to tell me that I'm a bandwagon cat who has not read comic books, I have proof that I am a comic book reader. I may have not read every comic book known to man, and no person has. And if they have, that's good luck. That's good for them if they have. But not every person needs to be this comic book aficionado who needs to read every single comic from Marvel or DC A to Z to know certain things about characters. So I just want to put that into perspective for some people who think that just because you know more or just because you think you know more than somebody else about these characters doesn't mean that what they know about those characters is any different from what you know. Because it's all the same character, it's all the same history. So for you to say that, I proved my point, which I didn't have to prove to you anyway, because I don't have to prove anything to anybody, because I know who I am. I know what I like and I know what I enjoy. And I've said it multiple times, and people in this stream can witness it. If I don't know anything about these characters, tell me what characters I need to learn, what comics I need to read, so I can go read them. Because I am someone who's acceptant in learning new things about these characters. I am acceptive of that. So if any way you can help me discover and learn more about these characters, feel free to do so. There you go. That's my TED Talk. Thank you, Dr. Robotnik. I appreciate the comment. Dan the Man, you're fiending for Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars. Hey, they start filming next month. I think next month and a little bit in April. So who knows? We might get a little something something by then. There's definitely going to be some things there. No one ever said Venom's. Yes, they have, Tom. There's been plenty of people who have said that Venom, in their opinion, that Venom is the Spider-Man's biggest villain. There's been plenty of people who have said that. There's been plenty of people who have said, in their opinion, that Doc Ock is. And I'm not saying that they're wrong. I'm just saying that, in my opinion, I think Green Goblin is Spidey's biggest villain. That's all I'm saying. Okay, you make the argument about him getting into Peter's mind, but here's the thing. There's a difference between getting into someone's mind physically and getting into their mind mentally. There's a difference. When you have a character like Green Goblin who doesn't even have to do that, because Norman Osborn is just on a different level than Doc Ock is, he doesn't have to do that. All he has to do is get into your mind mentally. When you're able to get into someone's mind mentally, that's on a different level. That is on a different level of villainy. That's all I'm saying. I just found out how they redeemed Norman when he became the Gold Goblin. I could see them introducing that too. I mean, we have like Spider-Man 3 coming out in like a couple years or so. That could be interesting if they decide to do that. I don't know if they're going to. They'll probably do like traditional Green Goblin with probably some new elements in that game, but that would be kind of interesting. Maybe he does get like a redeemable arc in the end. So we'll see. Why can't we hear the conversation? Because I was talking to someone. I was talking to someone on the phone. You said for theories, we got Doomsday. Sam will have a power struggle with Shang-Chi, and the different variants showing up would be Edward Norton, Hulk, Terrence Howard's War Machine, Ryan Gosling's White Wolf. I mean, hey, that's a good theory right there. Those are definitely characters I could see. Like, we do have like over 60 characters that are going to be in Avengers Doomsday. Now, they never specified for Secret Wars, which could mean more for Secret Wars, but in Doomsday, they did say like over 60 characters. So we obviously know Sam is a part of that. They confirmed it. I would imagine the new Falcon is going to be a part of it, knowing that we know at the end of the movie with him recruiting Falcon. I think Shang-Chi is an obvious choice, especially if they are going to go in the same route of what they were going to do with Kang Dynasty with the 10 Rings. If they're going to continue that storyline in this, it's a given. I think Miss Marvel is another given as well. Captain Marvel. I'm trying to think of maybe some other characters. I don't see Moon Knight. I think they got other plans for Moon Knight, which is unfortunate because I really wanted a season 2 of Moon Knight. I feel like the first season there was some potential there, but I feel like Moon Knight wasn't able to reach its full potential. And that's what bothers me about the show. I love the character. You know, I've read comics on the character. I may not own comics of the character, but I've read comics of the character. And there's so much to explore with his character, so it sucks that he isn't getting a season 2, but if they have a way to maybe do a movie, or I even suggested like an animated series on Moon Knight. I think that would be cool. They could go as dark and gritty as they want with the series. They don't have to worry about all the limitations and stuff like what I would imagine they maybe felt with the series, because with Daredevil Born Again technically being their first like TVMA series, I think at around that time they were not sure if they wanted to do TVMA series, but now they're going to, you know. So we know that Marvel Zombies is TVMA too. Even though personally I'm not looking forward to Marvel Zombies, if I'm being honest, I'm just not. I don't think a 4 episode series is enough to do Marvel Zombies. I feel like you need to do a whole series on that. So I'm not looking forward to it, but again, we got Deadpool Wolverine, which was like a rated R thing. So they are trying to push to doing more adult, mature content. So if they wanted to continue Moon Knight, I would love to see like a Moon Knight animated series, kind of like Samurai Jack, right? Kind of in that kind of storytelling vibe. I would love to see something like that. So I don't know, but I think we are gonna see Moon Knight again, just not in the Avengers movies. But who knows? Maybe we could see him earlier. But some of the choices you had there, I think it's definitely possible that we see them either in Doomsday or Secret Wars for sure. Brother looks straight out of the 70s. I'll take that as a compliment. Black Power. I'll take that as a compliment. Collector and reader ain't the same. I have read these comics. Like I said, Tofu Tom, it's crazy that you coming into my stream telling me what I've done. And again, you don't even know who I am. And like I said, it's not like I have to prove anything to you anyway. I've read these comics. I don't just collect comics just because I want to. I collect them because I want to read them. I think that's what any sensible person who collects comics would want to do, is read them. You know? So for you to tell me that and for you to say that, I think it's kind of crazy. I think that's crazy work coming from your end. That's like telling someone, "Oh yeah, you just buy food because you just want it on your cabinet shelf, or you just want it on your shelf." Like, no, I'm gonna buy food because I'm gonna eat it. You know what I mean? Like, that's crazy. Like, what are we talking about? So, Tom Tofu, I don't know what you're talking about. You're talking crazy. You clearly don't know me, and I'm not going to give you the acknowledgement anymore. So if you don't have anything nice to say, I think it's best that you leave, personally. I'm trying to be as nice as I can be. But again, coming in someone's stream and telling them that they have not read a comic book or anything like that, I think that's crazy business. So I've warned you. I've been nice about it. I'm not going to say it again. It was the 1990 Captain America. I don't think I've seen that one. I've only seen the one where, like I said, the early one where he's wearing like a biker helmet. Um, and the Hulk was like crazy, like this crazy like mullet hairstyle that they did back then. I think it was like the 70s or something, but not a crease in any of those books. You know, not every person has to crease their books to know that they've read them. I don't have to, I am such a delicate reader that I don't have to crease my books. That's the difference between some readers. Some readers have to crease their books, but I don't, because I try to take care of my stuff. But I know not everybody's like that. Athena, welcome to the stream. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Jace, how many comic books do you have? Like, maybe an estimation. Well, there I have more comics over there. Like I have some Cuphead comics as well, if those count as comic books. So to kind of give you an estimation, and not only that, I have an art book because I actually read art books too. I don't just collect art books; I actually read them too. Let me just go ahead and confirm that as well. So we got one, we got two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, and also the two I have over there. So 11. And yeah, like I said, I don't have every comic book known to man. I'm no rich person. Sometimes I read comics online, like a lot of people. Not everybody has the money to afford, comics. Not everybody has a comic book store around them. I literally get my comic books off Amazon, and I have to wait months at the time, sometimes even close to a year for those comics to come out because they put them in like a full-on book where it pretty much is like it compiles all the issues together in one book. So I have to wait because again, I don't have a comic book store near me. So that is my only way to like read these comics. Or like I said, I go to online sites where I go and read them, and that's what I do. Um, Nobody said you had to be a collector to read comic books. It's just that I don't know. Some people that's the only problem I have with people. It's like if there are people who feel like you don't collect every single comic book known to man, you don't know anything. And sometimes it kind of pisses me off with comic book fans, and I'm gonna get into that bag because some of y'all need to know, and I really don't want to go there, but it pisses me off when these comic book fans who claim they know the history and the evolution of all these characters, but when you ask them one thing about whatever comic it is that they claim they know, they can't answer it off rip. Why is that? If I asked you to name every single Marvel character A to Z, will you tell me every single Marvel character from A to Z? If I asked you every single DC character from A to Z, will you be able to tell me? Because if you will, that's impressive. But I'm gonna tell you this: not every comic book fan knows about these characters. It's easy to go online and pull off a comic book panel from a random comic book and to say that you know about comics, when in actuality, you've never even read them. That's one thing. But telling someone in their stream, which someone you do not know, and even then, you do not know them, that's wild. Because I thought this comic book community was about bringing people in. If people don't know about these characters, help them understand. Don't belittle them and tell them, oh, you don't know anything, or it's obvious that people know this about Peter Parker. It's obvious that people know this about Bruce Banner. Well, okay, if you knew this, that's fine. But if someone else didn't know this, that's cool because they're learning about that character. Tell them more about the character. Tell them what comics they need to read about the character. Not tell them you're stupid, you're dumb, you don't know anything, you don't belong in this community. Because, and that's what I miss about Comic Storian. And I miss Comic Storian so much because Benny never went out of his way to talk down to people, to tell them they're stupid, they know nothing. He never did that. He was always somebody who would read these comics, narrate these comics for casual audiences, for people who did not know a thing about these characters. And he would break it down and make you feel as if you are in the story within these characters. He always found a way to do that and found an appreciation in helping bring acknowledgement to these characters. Do you think Stan Lee would have wanted people to have such a, in my opinion, gatekeeping attitude towards people who may not know about these characters. No. I would imagine a lot of people right now, if they could just go back in time to a time machine when the first Fantastic Four comic issue came out, when the first Spider-Man issue came out, there are people who would love to go back in time and just experience that for the first time because it meant something to them. And when you have someone who learns about the character for the first time, it means something to them too. Whether it's in a movie, a video game, a cartoon. It doesn't matter where they learn that character from. But what matters is how that character affected them. And that is the important thing we need to understand. Not everybody is going to be for the sake of comic book accuracy. Not everyone is going to be for the sake of discovering these characters in Amazing Fantasy 15. Some people are going to learn these characters through different medium, and we have to appreciate that and have an understanding of that. And if you can't, you're the problem. You are the problem of why some people feel like this comic book genre media is such a very gatekeeping thing. Because of you. Because you feel like this is a medium that should only be inspired by comic book accuracy. I'm sorry for ranting, but it just really pisses me off when people try to tell other people how they should learn, how they should discover these characters. It pisses me off, and I don't like that, and I don't appreciate that. Don't ever tell me that I'm not a fan of something because I don't know half the things that you know. So yeah, I'm sorry for ranting. Everyone getting wrecked until nostalgia variants pop up. There will be a scenario where Wolverine will choose between old and new. Black suit Spider-Man is able to save both. Doom makes the new universe. Yeah, for sure. Like I said, that's definitely a possibility of things that we could see, especially like I said, the symbiote. Like they obviously want the symbiote to be in play because they gotta create, like that's just one of the dopest moments of Secret Wars is that comic book cover of Spider-Man in that pose. Like that is one of those moments that I know they want to recreate. I know they want to make that happen. So I think it's definitely something we can see. I think Wolverine kind of being in this unsure place of what side will he choose. That could be something. Who knows? What if we see like a rogue Wolverine? Like I'm not talking about like a good Wolverine, but I'm talking about like a evil Wolverine. Would they show something like that? Could we see something like that? It's possible. So we don't know a thing about Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars. Yeah, there may be a lot of scoopers and insiders who feel that they know what's going on. They don't know what's going on either. They don't know what's going on. But they want to keep y'all intact and keep people intact and telling all these like cryptic hints and things like that about what they think is going to happen because some source of Marvel told them this. I don't need a source. I don't need a source to tell me what happens. That's what I go to the movies for. You know? Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, you get my point. You get my point, Tom. That's all I'm saying. I'm not trying to be, rude or upset at you. I'm not, but I'm just saying it's not cool to tell people what they don't know, or it's not cool to tell people, "Oh, you're not a comic book fan. You don't read comic books." That's like if I wore a rock band t-shirt, a Van Halen. Are you gonna tell me, oh, you don't listen to Van Halen, you just have that shirt on? It's like, well, no, that's not the case. Because I can tell you from experience, Me and my dad, we used to rock out to Van Halen CDs in the car. As a kid, I grew up with that. So it's best not to assume that of people because you know what they say about making assumptions. You make an ass out of you and me, and I'm not for that. I'm not for that. You know, I appreciate. Like I said, it's not about respect. It's about not making assumptions about people. And I just hope that, for anyone's sake, don't make assumptions about people if you don't know who they are. You don't know what they've been through. You don't know their life story because you never know what someone's been through. You don't know what someone's experienced. So that's all I'm saying. Just keep that in mind. I get my comics from Blurred Without Fear and Dope Spill comics for free. See, like I said, everybody has their way of, reading comics, and you don't have to be this person who goes to a Comic Con to collect, a comic from 30 years ago. Sometimes all it takes is just for you to do the research online. And if you want to know about what happens in the Amazing Spider Man issue 50, you can go online and find it. It's there. If you want to know what goes on in Devil's Reign, you can read about it. And it's not even that. You don't even have to read about it anymore. You can go, there's plenty of channels that do full on analysis and story, comic dubs and all that, just going through that. Like I said, rest in peace, Comic Storian, Comics Explained, Mary Marvelite. There's all these different channels that you can go to and get that knowledge. And maybe those videos inspire you even more to even go seek out those comics, on Amazon or Walmart or wherever it is that you shop. So it's all just a matter of discovery. Wait, you met Stan Lee? No, I've never met Stan Lee. That is one of the people I've always wanted to meet. He's always been someone I've always wanted to meet. Unfortunately, he passed. Um, but Stanley is definitely someone that I have like a inspiration for. You know, for what he was able to do, just bringing the face of Marvel into different heights throughout his lifespan. You know, I feel like people give Stanley a lot of hate, but I will say that Stanley he's given credit when credit is due, but I don't think Stanley is the end all be all of Marvel, if that makes sense. Marvel is built off of so many talented comic book writers and inkers and drawers and artists. And without them, you don't have Marvel that we have today. But I will give credit to Stan Lee for the business side of Marvel and also expanding Marvel to this worldwide phenomenon as it is. So I got to give credit there. And that's how I feel about it. But no, I have not actually met or do neither know Stanley, but it would have been cool to have known him. Do ran me won me over a rant, even subscribed, then the rant. That's crazy. So that's all it took. That's all it took. That's crazy. Well, welcome. That's all I can say. Would love a JaceTheDon Discord. I thought about that before I would join. I mean, I would love to do a Discord. I just don't. Who would monitor it? You know what I mean? Like I'll try to be on as best as I can, but like I don't know who would monitor it. And I just think running a Discord, it's a lot. And I don't want to put that pressure on anyone. I would love to, but I don't know. That's something I have to really think about. I make comics using Toon Boom. Harmony, it's a really nice software program, but I also have people that work on paneling and lettering and things like that. Very fun to make comics. It's a fun thing to do. I've always wanted to write and draw my own comic. I've always wanted to do that, but I just haven't really had the time. But I've had ideas. I have ideas of characters and stuff throughout my years that I kept in like notebooks and stuff. I do a lot of writing, so I have a lot of ideas of just different characters and different things and stuff. So who knows? Maybe I will do a comic book series one day. I'd love to do it. But that's awesome that you make comics, off of, Toon Boom Harmony. That's the first time of me hearing about it. So it's cool that you also have people who help you with it too. So hopefully your comic comes out. I will love to check it out. And if anyone is, doing a comic or a project or anything like that, I'd be down to check it out. I'm all for supporting people. He needs one ASAP just so we can chat. Like I said, if you guys want a Discord, like I said, let me know. Like I said, I'm gonna think about it and um, I'll try to get that going. I'll try to get that going for you guys. Phineas and Ferb Mission Marvel is the best Marvel movie. It's been a while since I've seen that movie too, but I remember watching it. It's so cool having Spider-Man on there and all the other Avengers and stuff like that. We don't really get movies like that anymore. But I kind of wish maybe with Marvel animation, maybe they can start doing movies like that. Um, I think Marvel animation would really benefit from doing theatrical releases with movies. Like an X-Men 97 movie would be dope. A Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man movie would be dope. Maybe something completely different. I would love personally. I'm not the biggest anime fan, but I would love to see a Blade anime movie. I think that would be so cool. Like, I just think that would be so dope. Like, I don't know who I need to get in contact with Marvel, but I got an idea. If you want to hold off on Blade a little bit, I think I have an idea of what you could do for Blade. And I think a Blade anime, a movie or a TV show, I think that'd be cool. There's a lot of things you could do with that. The oldest person I met was born in the 1890s. Wow. Yeah, they definitely got a lot of years, that's for sure. 99 cents ain't free. Yeah. Hey, 99 cents is it's definitely better than nothing for sure. I feel like 99 cents in this climate is becoming more and more the new free, and that's wild to say, but I think 99 cents just to read comics, that's not bad at all, actually. Do you pay that per month or is it like a annually like year kind of thing? Get your hands out of my pocket. Early 2010s, I forgot when exactly, but they were at least older than 100 even then. Wow. I've never met anyone that's like over 100. I've met someone near 100, and I've met people who are kind of getting close to the 100, but I haven't met anyone who's over 100. But I'm sure they have a lot of stories to tell, for sure. Why does there have to be a moderator? I mean, I think personally there has to be a moderator because I know how crazy people can get. I'm not saying you guys, but I know how crazy people can get on Discord, and I just want to be able to have a server where it's a safe space and things are chill. There's no crazy drama, all that stuff going on. So I just want it to be I just wanted to be a good chill spot for people to come in, talk about rather it's Marvel, DC, cartoons, whatever it is, just talk about it and just be in a safe space to do so, you know? Marvel is allegedly making some ensemble animated movie for 300 million. I did hear about that a while ago. Now, I did do a video because I had like this theory put together, and I was kind of like, is X-Men 97 getting a movie? I did like a video on that a while ago. So I do remember that report of them having that ensemble animated movie. I don't know if you guys heard about it, but I haven't heard of these Marvel characters before. But I've heard that there was a rumor about Power Pack. I think like Power Pack is getting like an animated thing. I don't know what the Power Pack is. I've never heard of them before. So, you guys, let's convince them to do a Discord. Like I said, I'll do one eventually. They've seen some stuff for sure. It was a play on words. I'm saying I get my comics from YouTubers by watching them. Gotcha. Gotcha. See? Different ways to check out comics and stuff. And that's, like I said, that's the dope thing about the internet. Like this, I think we're in a time where social media can be, the internet can be a good thing, but it could also be a bad thing. But when it's for good, I think it's dope. Like I said, when you get to check out comics online and stuff like that, I just think it just adds more to people getting more aware and just having discovery for these characters. You can block people out of your Discord server. That is true. That is true. You can ban them. So like I said, it's something I'll think about, and I'll if I do make one, I'll definitely let you guys know. I watched this morning. I watched. Oh, you watched me. Yeah, you watched me fail. You guys watched me fail on OBS so bad. It was funny. I look back at those streams and I laugh because trying to get OBS straight is definitely something I am having a difficult time doing. But I tell you this, once I get Discord, once I get OBS straight, I won't have problems. I don't think I'll have any problems. I'm sure I'll have problems here and there, but I don't think it'll be as bad as today. But I appreciate everybody who even came in those streams just to see me test and just in a crazy, silly, funny way of trying to get this stuff situated. I do remember Power Pack. They're friends with Franklin Richards. Okay, I didn't see. I didn't know that. See, I learned something new today. I didn't know that those were his friends. So now that gets me interested to see. So then, wait a minute. That means we could see the Fantastic Four get an animation then. Because if you guys saw, you guys were, watching my Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man like streams. I kept mentioning Fantastic Four. Like, I wonder we're gonna see the Fantastic Four, and we never did see them. So now with the report from Jeff Trammell when he did an interview, he said that they weren't able to use Big Will, the villain Big Will, and Fantastic Four. So who knows? Maybe we might see Fantastic Four show up in a future season or something. So we'll see. I think it might have to do with because they weren't able to, use the Fantastic Four. I think it might be due to the movie. That's probably why they weren't able to use them. But that's my guess. Internet slash tech and social media is always a tool. Exactly. It's a tool when you use it for good. When you're trying to spread awareness or positivity and stuff like that, or just have like good, well mannered conversations. I feel like a lot of people, though, use social media to be attention grabbing, to be like attacking other people and stuff like that. And I just don't think that's a very good use of social media. And I feel like a lot of people on social media, they try to sway and control people's thoughts about
Mm-hmm.
stuff, especially when it comes to dating. Like I feel like nowadays, I feel like there's so much of like this whole thing with, you know, this side isn't doing what it's supposed to do. This side isn't doing what it's supposed to do. And I feel like there's so much of that, and within these podcasts that people come up with, and I think not everyone needs a podcast, but I feel like there's a lot of that like influence. If you're not pro this side, you're the worst person on earth. You're not pro that side. You're the worst person on earth, and it's like, guys, it's just a matter of opinion. Like it's really not that deep. It's like people who still believe the console wars are happening. Like I've said it before. Like I grew up with what I was able to have. If I had an Xbox, I would be happy. If I had a PlayStation, I'd be happy. If I had the Potato XL console and I'm able to play games on it, I'm happy. Like it doesn't matter to me. Like it all this console exclusivity and stuff that people go back and forth with online over a game console, that which by the way, none of these people have any stock in Sony or Microsoft. I just think personally, like, it's not that serious. It's really not that serious. If you like PlayStation, that's cool. If you like Xbox, that's cool. If you like Nintendo, that's cool. That's your choice. If you like all of them, hey, you got all the dessert in the world. Go at your disposal and eat that cheesecake. Eat the red velvet. Eat that apple pie. You know what I mean? So I just think that when people try to do this whole thing of, this system is better than your system. Oh no, my system is better than your system. It just causes
Mm-hmm.
this whole thing where it's like we're all on the same team. It's just that you love games, right? You both love games. It may be on different consoles, but y'all both love games. We're all the same. It's no different. It's the same with, and I'll even get into it with this, like with Marvel and DC fans. Like, I get it. If you love Marvel, I get it. If you love DC, I get it. If you love both, that's dope. You know what I mean? But when I see like Marvel fans attack DC fans, or when I see DC fans attack Marvel fans, I just feel like personally, it's just like, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing with with the conversation here? Like Marvel has dope characters, DC has dope characters. Marvel has amazing movies, DC has amazing movies. You know what I mean? And same with the comics. Like I just don't get the whole rivalry between the two. I'm someone who appreciates both. I may be more knowledgeable about Marvel than I am DC, but I'm always willing, if I want to know more about characters, I'm always willing to know more from both sides, because I just think, again, knowledge is power. So I'm willing to just have that understanding. I watched both your streams this morning, but also binged your videos. Well, thank you. Yeah, I kept freezing. Yeah, it was bad. It was bad. Collab with Cassidy Campbell. Okay, like I said, you guys want me to collab with people? I'm sure I can. Been streaming for 100 minutes. Yeah, I streamed it for like an hour or so. I'm probably gonna end it at 2 hours, and we pretty much spent the entire stream talking about other stuff. Hey, I don't mind because our streams usually go that way anyway, so it's never a bad thing. It's great to just be able to stream with you guys, just period, and just talk about stuff. Rather it's the topic or being off topic, it doesn't matter. Like I enjoy the streams and talking with you guys, so it's amazing. I sometimes catch myself complaining a little too much about how things can be in society, but I try to keep it on the low because I also make sure to try to make things better in the world. And that's okay, Kaden, that's normal. We all we all go through things and we all have things that we complain about. I complain about things too. I may not, speak about it online, or I may not like do a whole video complaining about it, but there's times where I've wanted to just make a whole rant video about certain things that I see online or things like that, and it's like I have to reserve myself, because if not, I don't want to feel like I don't want to feel like I need to be that person who just rants. Like obviously, like I ranted earlier. You guys saw me rant. You guys have probably never seen me rant like that before, and I don't like going there, but I feel like I had to, for the sake of just giving people that understanding of never judge a book by its cover. And I feel like that's the biggest lesson in today's society that we can't seem to just grasp, is that never judge a book by its cover. It's okay to try something new. It's okay to discover something new for the first time, and just having that understanding. There's a lot of people and a lot of reaction YouTubers who have never seen some of the most popular movies, and you see those channels and you say to those people like, "Oh, you suck. You're no movie fan. You've never seen movies before. How dare you? You've never seen Back to the Future before. Like you can't call yourself a movie fan if you've never seen that." You know what I mean? Like, some people watched Back to the Future when they were 5, some people watched it when they were 50 for the first time. That doesn't make them not a movie fan. It's just like it wasn't their time to discover certain things. And I just think, personally, for me, it wasn't my time. Like I said, I read comics when I was younger, when I was over at my cousin's house, but I wasn't really what you call like a die-hard comics fan where I was buying them. Like I said, my cousin had them, I'd read them. But other than that, I wasn't really too big into the comics. I was more of the movies and cartoons. That was more of my thing. But as I got older and wanted to know more knowledge about these characters, I started getting into that realm. And I think it's the same with people who haven't seen movies like Back to the Future or Forrest Gump or things like that for the first time. They're just getting into that. Maybe they just didn't have the childhood, where they were able to watch those movies. So it's okay. It's okay to discover things for the first time. It doesn't make you a bad person. It doesn't make you slow. Like, it just makes you, like I said, it just wasn't a time for you to discover it, but now it is your time to discover it. So that's all it is. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to make things better in the world. There's nothing wrong with that. Don't ever make anyone, don't ever let anyone, I'm going to take my glasses off for this. Don't let anyone ever make you feel like you should feel bad about wanting to try to make things better in the world. I think we all can make things better. And I think we're all trying to, in our own way. And sometimes people may not understand the way you're going about it. But as long as you understand, that's all that matters. Hey, Cheeto 2, what's up? Welcome back. Welcome back. I'm glad to see y'all spreading love in the chat. I'm glad y'all are talking to each other and things like that. It's great. You know what? You mean, Jace? I once got called a poser for saying I enjoyed Sylvester Stallone's TV show, even though I'm not a big Rocky fan. Like, there's nothing wrong. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you saw Sylvester Stallone, and I'm sure I remember what TV show you're talking about. I think is it Welcome? Was he in Welcome Back? I don't think he was in Welcome Back. I think there's another show he was in. But I know what show you're referring to, but you getting that first acknowledgement of Sylvester Stallone from that's dope. because again, maybe encourage you to go check out his other content, because Sylvester Stallone, he's definitely an actor who has done some things in his career that are very interesting besides Rocky. And yes, Rocky is what he's known for, that's what he's popular for, but he's done other stuff like Rambo, and he's got the show on Paramount, the Tulsa King, that's really good. You know what I mean? So um I'll tell you, for me, right? Like, obviously, Robin Williams, my first movie was Dead Poet Society. I love Dead Poet Society. My favorite Robin Williams movie of all time. And he's done some great movies. But Dead Poet Society will always be my favorite Robin Williams movie. Just because of the impact of that role, and just the story with this brotherhood and stuff like that. Like, it's a very, like, a heart pulling story, and I really appreciate that movie and his role in that movie, being a teacher and trying to teach young men to go your own way. Don't follow what your parents want you to be. Be your own person. Do your own things. Go out there. There's a big wide world out there for you to just discover and experience. Why would you want to be the same square? You have to break that square and see what's in front of you. There's so much in front of you, so many opportunities, so many roads and pathways and journeys, so many chapters of your story that's unwritten. You know what I mean? Like, why would you want to just be in that same box? So that movie just really, at a young age, gave me that, you know, boost of, I want to go outside of my limits. I want to do things that I've never done before. I want to go to places. I want to see things. I want to go around the world. I want to see different cultures and have an understanding of why things are different, but we're still all in the same. Like, I want that. So, but I will also say that Mork and Mindy, the TV series Mork and Mindy was also where I got my, like, introduction to Robin Williams, because I thought Mork and Mindy was a very interesting sitcom, and a lot of stars that are stars now, like your Tom Cruise, your Sylvester Stallone, your Johnny Depp, all started out in TV sitcoms. You know, so just seeing that evolution from Johnny Depp being on 21 Jump Street to seeing him in Edward Scissorhands, to see him in Pirates of the Caribbean and Willy Wonka, and all the roles that he's done, Fantastic Beast, you know what I mean? To see that evolution is so cool, because you get to see the range of where that person started and where they are now. Same with Will Smith. He started out on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and he was a rapper at that time. The first rapper to win a Grammy, by the way. That tells you the power of Will Smith. Then he started doing acting. He started doing movies. You got Bad Boys. You got Pursuit of Happiness. You got Hitch. You got Wild Wild West. You have all these different movies. And when you go down the list and you see all these movies that he's done, and you see his growth as an actor, Will Smith, he would like full on mumble, like the full on script while watching the early. Like, if you go back and look at the early episodes of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, you can see him legit mouthing the actual words from the scripts that what other people were saying. He was trying to word it, because at the time, when you're not an experienced actor, that was his way of memorizing what he needed to say. So when you look at that, and then you look at Bad Boys Ride or Die, where he's doing all this dope stuff, where you see him, he has the gun, and he's turning the camera, all different kinds of ways, and you see him behind the scenes in the production side of movies and TV shows and things like that, right? you see the growth, and that's why I think it's so very important to always remember where you started and always look back at where you started in the future and say, you know what, I did come a long way. You know, I'm gonna look back 5 years from now, when 5 to 10 years from now, when I'm, in a couple of movies, whenever I win my first Oscar, I'm gonna look back at these moments when I was doing YouTube. I was just a guy on YouTube doing videos. And now I'm one of the biggest actors, one of the biggest movie stars in Hollywood to date. I want to look back at those moments and I want to say, I appreciate those moments. And I appreciate the people I met along the way. I appreciate you guys for meeting you guys and helping me get to that level of where I want to be in life. And that's why I'm so appreciative of you guys always, because without you guys, there is no Jace the Don. There is no channel. You guys really help me motivate me every single day to keep going. So I will always be gracious of you guys. Marvel Studios is going to be fine. They have up and down at the box office. Exactly. They're gonna, like I said, they're gonna be fine. I don't agree with the sentiment of the MCU being dead. I don't think it's ever been dead. It's just, again, Marvel's just in a slow state right now. And I think they're gonna find their way back. I think people are gonna get excited again. I think Daredevil Born Again got people excited. I think Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man got people excited. I think a lot of people are gonna come back and they're gonna start to see where things are aligning. And when we get to Fantastic Four, that's when I think things are really gonna hit. I think people are really gonna start coming back and getting invested into, okay, what that post-credit scene in Fantastic Four, where does that lead to? Where is this gonna go? So it's all about a slow burn. And I'm a wrestling fan. As someone who's been a wrestling fan for pretty much all his life, I know all about slow burns. I know all about stories that never got finished, that never got that payoff, that sometimes it took maybe years for us to finally come back to all that and have that swing back in. And they play into the history and they build up a big match that was going to happen that didn't happen. So I'm someone who's understanding of that because I know how that feels. So that's why for me, I've never been in that boat of, oh, the MCU's dead, oh, the MCU's over, oh, you know I don't see it that way because I'm willing to try to let things play out. Now, have I been happy with everything in Marvel? No, I haven't. I do wish certain things would have been different. I do. But I'm not going to be someone who's very antagonistic and say oh yeah, the Disney is what ruined Marvel. Because I disagree with that because I'm not sure if Marvel would be as big on Paramount. If I'm being honest, that's just me being honest. I don't think Marvel would be as big as it is if it was still under Paramount. And I'm not saying that just to say that. Maybe it would be. I don't know. That's a what if scenario we'd have to think about in an alternate timeline. But I think for the most part, I think what Disney has done to try to bring a wider, broader audience to these projects, I think is good. Um, but they're not perfect. No studio is perfect. No person is perfect. And sometimes I feel like we just got to trust the process. And I want to just, I want to see things play out. And I think they hear people. I think a lot of people don't think Marvel doesn't have burner accounts where they're watching and listening and seeing what people said. That's why with the whole Kang thing, I think Marvel saw a lot of people saying that they wanted Doom to take over, and that's what they did because that's what people online wanted. So I think Marvel is listening to people online, but also at the same time, I don't think Marvel needs to listen to everybody online because not everybody is good at giving things that should happen in Marvel. I don't think people online are always good at piecing together these things. You know what I mean? I feel like a lot of people online want to be the scripter, the director, the photographer, the cinematographer, the color greatest. They want to be all of these things, right? And it's okay to have criticism, it's okay to have feedback. But I think sometimes people come off very antagonistic with it. And I don't think that's what feedback should be. I think feedback should be where it's like, you know what? I think the color grading for this is not good. I think it needs the color. There's need to be more color. There needs to be a little bit more grading. There, maybe you need a new color palette. Like giving feedback, right? Not like, oh my god, it's another grayscale movie. Oh, I'm not gonna see this. Oh, Marvel is woke and trash and like oh, a lot of the loud internet fans do. You know what I mean? So you can give feedback. It's just a matter of how you give feedback. Lucasfilms is going to have a comeback. I think so too. And I know Star Wars. I'm pretty sure. Like I don't know a thing about Star Wars. Star Wars is not something I'm into. But knowing people that are in Star Wars and kind of feel like Star Wars is kind of in this like uncertain place, I think Star Wars is gonna come back. I think they're gonna do something pretty big and it's gonna get people on board. I think again, people just need to like trust the process and kind of see where things go. But I have a feeling Star Wars, they're going to get back on their game. I think so. All it takes is just some writers, some people to come on in and just be passionate about the franchise and wanting to bring new original IP into the franchise. I feel like you can explore the characters that you have, but I think it's also cool when you can take that universe that you have and build new characters upon that universe. Give us stories, give people stories of things that people didn't really think about. Like, I didn't think about what this would be like, 2,000 years ago in the world of Star Wars. But now I'm interested. You know what I mean? So I think all it takes is just the right people to get involved, and you got something, you know? John Filani and John Favreau probably in the running. Yeah, I did hear that. I also heard Kevin Feige, but if I'm being honest, I don't think Kevin Feige needs to leave Marvel to do Star Wars. I'm sure he would do a great job, but I don't think he needs to leave because, in my personal opinion, I think there's so much with Marvel right now that I feel like he wants to do. Like, I don't see him leaving, Marvel to not do the X-Men. You know what I mean? If he is gonna leave, I feel like it's got to be sometime after he does X-Men. You know what I mean? I just feel like, and he said in his interview that Fantastic Four and X-Men, those are his babies. Those are the things he wants, and now he has those toys to play with. So I just don't think personally he would leave doing Marvel without doing what he wants to do with the X-Men. So but if he did, I think Brad Whitterbaum would be a good replacement. But I personally don't want him to leave Marvel. I think there's still a lot of tank in the gas for him, and I think there's some things he wants to do. So yeah, but yeah, because I enjoy Tulsa King and some of the Rambos. Because I said I never really watched fully any of the Rockies. I don't recall somebody just got upset about it. Yeah, like not everybody like I could maybe tell you Rocky 1 and 2. Rocky 3, I can give you a little bit of, but Rocky 4 and 5, I don't remember those movies at all. So don't feel bad. You know what I mean? Don't feel bad. What's your favorite movie of all time, Jace? My favorite movie of all time. My favorite movie of all time has to be Forrest Gump. And I know that's like a very interesting movie, but I just love the story of Forrest Gump. I think this character who He's definitely feels like a cartoon character, but he's not. But he's just so like in his own world. But then when you take into consideration his care and love for Jenny, she was in this like, oh, even though Jenny was like in this space of she wasn't sure if she loved him or things like that, because Jenny was going through her own fair share of problems. There's a lot of things that they didn't say, but if you pick up on watching the movie, there's a lot of things that she went was going through in her life. And that scene with when she comes to the house and he's like, "Why won't you marry me, Jenny?" And she's like, "I don't know, Forrest." And he's like confessing that to her. I think that's like one of my favorite scenes in movie history. And so yeah, Forrest Gump is my favorite movie of all time. Love that movie. I heard there were talks of them doing a second one. They don't need to do a second one. I think the first Forrest Gump movie is good as is, and they don't need to do a second one. So, uh, yeah, classic movie. But yeah, that's my favorite movie of all time. I feel bad for James Gunn, even if Superman has the support from critics and audience. If this film bombs at the box office, it's going to look bad at Warner Brothers. That's why I'm hoping that this movie does well, and I want this movie to succeed. I think Superman is a character that's very much needed in this day and age, especially with all the different, I feel like, media that's been so anti Superman. Like Invincible, like this is no shot at Invincible. I love Invincible. I love what they do. But when you have a character like Omni Man that's kind of like the anti, Superman, and then with the boys, which again I love the boys, no hate on the boys or anything, but even with Homelander, when you have those characters like Homelander and Omni Man that are again the anti Superman, it kind of knocks down this image of what Superman is in a way. So that's why I'm hoping this movie does a really good job of giving people the epitome of what Superman is, what he stands for, and we can see more media like that. I'm really tired of seeing the dark Superman stuff, and I know there's comics where Superman has gone dark and gone rogue, and I know that's something that's there, but I feel like there's been so many iterations that have done Superman as this dark rogue character that I just don't I think personally I don't want to see that anymore. I think it's very tiresome, you know? I just think it's very tiresome. He's also in Night of the Museum and Flubber and Robots. Let's see what you guys are saying. Are you an actor? I want to be. I'm working on being one. I'm trying to get into some voice acting as well. So who knows? Your boy might be in voice acting some characters pretty soon. I will, if I do, I'll let you guys know. I think you guys would definitely be interested, maybe. So we'll see. William doesn't want to do chores. Violet first 40K views 9 days ago. Huh. Why did you go to jail? I've never been to jail. Oh, you guys are just talking in the chat. I've never been to jail. I've never been to jail. I don't know what you guys are talking about. With all these people getting laid off, where's the income for these movies coming from? Did Marvel drop the series Punisher? That's a good question. I've been hearing a lot of stories about that as well, about actors and even in the games industry right now. I feel for people in the games industry. The Wonder Woman game. I was looking forward to the Wonder Woman game, and that got canceled yesterday. And Monolith is no more, and they got laid off, and a lot of people got laid off last year. It's just I don't know what's going on in the games industry. There's been layoffs in the movie industry. I don't know what's really going on in just entertainment as a whole. It's kind of like they want to have smaller studios now instead of maybe they feel like smaller studios they don't have to pay as much That's what it kind of feels like. They're trying to cheapen out that, but still, if you have a smaller studio, but then you're packing all this on people and not giving other people time to kind of work on stuff, I just think it's bad because you're going to have people who are overworked and tired and stressed out, and it's just not good. So, smaller studio doesn't always mean better, or cheaper doesn't always mean better. Also, about the Punisher, I don't. The Punisher series isn't coming back, at least as of right now. But we are getting a Punisher special presentation, so that is there. But maybe the Punisher will come back in a series. I hope he does. Not much, just hoping we get good programs back, and we will. I think we will, Anthony. I think we will get good programs. Um, just got to give it time, I guess. Warner Brothers needs box office wins right now. Folks isn't going to show up and support Mickey 17 Sinners of the Minecraft movie. I mean, I've heard good things about Mickey 17 Sinners. I'm really looking forward to that vampire type thing. I'm very interested in that. The Minecraft movie, as much as I love Minecraft as a game, I think the direction of the movie I'm not a fan of, so I might not check that out, but I don't know. I got someone at the door, so I'm gonna. Hey, I'm back. They say the tariffs are affecting the gaming industry. I wouldn't be surprised. It's a crazy time right now. It's a real crazy time right now. So, if that is the case, that's really unfortunate. But yeah, I'm gonna end the stream. Great conversations. I appreciate you guys coming in the stream. Even my failed attempts at OBS today. Again, it's still pretty funny. But yeah, I appreciate everybody that came in through the stream. We're going to be obviously doing some streams next week. For Daredevil Born Again, I'm going to be discussing the first two episodes. So definitely stay tuned for that. I got a video that I'm going to be working on right after this that's going to be talking about Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man Season 2. We got an update on that today. And yeah, my Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man review is going to come out, but it might be until next week when that happens because I got a lot of stuff going on this week. Yeah, with that being said, thank you guys so much. Amazing stream. You guys are phenomenal. You guys make these streams what they are. So if I don't see you again this week, which more likely I probably will because like I said, I'm going to do a video tonight and I'm going to try to get it out tonight as well. So I'll see you guys then. Thank you guys for tuning in. Until next time, big love to you all and peace out. I don't know why I did that. You guys, thank you, Jace. The streams are amazing. We will always tune in, and like I said, I appreciate you guys tuning in. It's been amazing. You guys have been great. So, thank you. So if anyone needs a thank you, you guys need a thank you. So yeah. Anyway, we love you all and peace out.